Halloween evolved from the ancient Celtic festival Samhain, also known as the Celtic New Year, which fell between October 31st and November 1st. The celebration marks the end of summer and the harvest season and the beginning of winter. The ancient Celts believed that on the night before the New Year, the boundary between the world of the living and the world of the dead was at its thinnest. It was a time to welcome ghosts of ancestors back home, while also being weary of malevolent spirits who crossed over as well. Because this was a night where the worlds of the living and the dead, and the past and the future were thought to be intertwined, Samhain was also thought to be the perfect night for divination and predicting what was to come in the new year. Many Halloween superstitions that centered around seeing spirits and foretelling one's fate emerged from this time. Here are 5 Halloween superstitions to make your holiday a little spookier. Number 1. Jack-o'-lanterns. Before there was trick-or-treating, Celtic people went door to door collecting food for the Samhain feast of the dead. Scary faces were carved into turnips and candles would be placed inside to create lanterns which people carried with them to keep away evil spirits and light their way through the night. These were the first jack-o'-lanterns. When Irish immigrants brought Halloween to America, pumpkins were substituted for turnips as they were more available and easier to carve. These lanterns wouldn't be referred to as jack-o'-lanterns, however, until the 18th century, when an Irish folktale about a man known as Stingy Jack began to circulate. Stingy Jack was a drunken man who tricked the devil from taking his soul, and therefore when he died wasn't allowed into heaven or hell. Instead, he was doomed to wander the place between the living and the dead. The devil gave him a hot coal which he placed inside a turnip to make a lantern to guide his lost soul. It is believed that placing a lit jack-o'-lantern outside your house on Halloween night will help guide lost spirits home. Number 2. Candles. Ever wonder if your house is haunted? If you light a candle on Halloween night and the candle goes out or turns blue, then it is a sign that a ghost has crossed over from the other world and that you are in the presence of spirits. If the flame suddenly grows taller, you will be visited by a mysterious stranger. You can also tell your fortune by candlelight. Simply ask the candle yes or no questions. If the wax runs to the right, the answer is yes. If it runs to the left, the answer is no. And if the wax runs down both sides, then the candle is unsure. Light an orange candle at midnight on Halloween and let it burn until dawn, and you will have good fortune for the coming year. However, please don't try this one at home. It's never safe to leave candles unattended. Number 3. Crossroads. Crossroads are thought to be supernatural spaces that attract traveling spirits. Some believe that the devil lingered around crossroads and that you could meet him there to exchange your soul for a wish. In Welsh folklore, if you stand at the center of a crossroads on Halloween night, you can hear a spirit whisper your future. The Welsh also believed that you could come across a fairy dog at a crossroad. If you see this large black dog, however, you should leave before it barks 3 times, as those who hear the 3 barks of the fairy dog are doomed to die. In Scottish folklore, if you bring a 3-legged stool to a crossroads, you will be told which of your friends will die in the coming year. Fortunately, you can prevent this by bringing an article of clothing from the unlucky person to the crossroads and throwing it into the air while shouting their name. Number 4. Dumb Supper. Dumb suppers originated from the ancestral dinners held during Samhain, where a space was left at the table for the spirits of loved ones long gone. The word dumb is a synonym for mute, as the meal would have to be eaten in complete silence in order to attract spirits to the table. The empty place at the table would also have to be served without anyone looking at the seat, as seeing the dead was thought to bring misfortune. In the Victorian era, this tradition later evolved into a love ritual. Young women would hold these dinner parties in isolated areas or in an abandoned house. The meal would then be performed entirely backwards, chairs would be turned around, the table would be set in the wrong order and dessert would be served before dinner. If everything was performed exactly right, and no one broke the spell by speaking, then it was believed that the dinner guests' future husbands would walk through the door at midnight. Number 5. Apples. Bobbing for apples is a common Halloween party game, but did you know that it originated as a courtship game? It was thought that the first bobber to bite an apple would be the first to marry. In another version of the game, each person was assigned an apple. The bobber would then try to bite the apple that corresponded with their desired mate. If the bobber bites the apple in one try, then it means the couple are destined to be together. If it takes 2 tries, then it means that you will have a romance with that person but your love will fade. And if it takes 3 tries, then the relationship is doomed to fail. A similar game was called Snap Apple, where an apple was speared to the end of a stick and on the other end was a lit candle. The stick was spun around and players would have to try to bite the apple without getting a face full of hot wax. The game later evolved to apples being hung from the ceiling on strings. Contestants would jump to try to be the first person to bite the apple. Other Halloween apple superstitions include peeling an apple and tossing the peel over your shoulder. It is said that the peel will land in the shape of the first letter of your future husband's name. Before you go to sleep, place an apple, or in some versions of the folklore, a silver coin and a sprig of rosemary under your pillow, and you will dream of your future husband. Eat an apple or comb your hair by candlelight while looking into a mirror on Halloween night, and the image of your future husband will appear in the mirror behind you. But what about you? Have you heard of any Halloween superstitions that I haven't mentioned? Let me know in the comments below, and remember to like and subscribe. See you next time. Happy Halloween!